Hello, everyone, and welcome in on this rainy and gloomy Sunday. I'm trying to be a ray of sunshine today because it is rainy and dreary here, and sometimes, that really affects our emotions as humans. And it definitely affects our animal friends as well. You don't see birds going crazy and running around, well, flying around and all happy. They're kind of all bedded down in the trees right now. And as I look outside, I guess I want to say this before I really begin today. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming to my channel and trusting me, and coming to my channel and supporting me. And I do want to say this before I begin. I had a vision yesterday, and the vision was because I went to dinner with a close friend, and I asked him how he was, and he didn't really say much at first, and then he started telling me some things, and I had realized that I hadn't made time for him in a long time, and I had regrets because I want to be the best friend I can be for the ones I love. And what it taught me was I had this kind of vision in my mind of a boat. And sometimes I have often felt about myself that we are all in a boat sometimes by ourselves. And I was in an old wooden boat, and I was by myself, and I was enjoying the quiet on the lake. And sadly, either a person or an energy decided to drill a hole in my boat. And I hadn't realized it in this vision. And it was a parallel with life. This story is a parallel of life. And each and every one of you, I felt plugging that hole, putting a cork in that area of damage in the boat, and patching that so that I wouldn't take on water. And I guess I'm trying to say each and every person that comes here keeps me safe and keeps me well. And I hope I return that to each and every one of you because I saw it very clearly the other day. Sorry for the little story, but it's true. And I just want each and every one of you to understand that I am grateful that you keep me safe and you keep me sound, and I appreciate it very much. So it's not only about subscribers or hitting the like button or something like that, but it's the comments that I receive on my channel that truly make me feel appreciated and truly make me feel loved and truly make me feel safe. So I felt like I had to say that. And on a Sunday like today, it gave me a little bit of time to reflect a little bit more before I started an educational video. I hope you remain with me today through this video because I was able to shop at Burton, Ohio Antique Fair or antique show, and I've went since I was 14 and I just turned 50. So I've shopped the show for 36 years, and I used to go every time with my mother, and I will always hold this show in a very special place in my heart. And I had an extraordinary time shopping and seeing old friends and dealers and meeting new people. Enough of that, but at least you'll know where I went to shop. And this cuff bracelet, I decided to wear today, and this has been with me a long time, and it's this modernist sterling silver masterpiece. I've yet to figure out who exactly designed this or made this, but I wanted to show you something that I was wearing today because you all ask, to see my things that I wear. There's a turquoise and sterling silver snake ring, and my friend Christina Malcolm made this articulating ring that kind of unfolds and becomes another sculpture, and you can wear it in so many different ways, but I choose to wear it as a thumb ring in that position. And then this is just a sandcast ring, and that was from a friend at Burton. And I appreciated that very much. She saw that I loved it, and she said, put it on your finger. It will be your good luck charm. So I just want to say to all of you, you are my good luck charm. And I mean that. There's something about it that I still am so happy with. And let me tell you, sometimes in life, I have been known to drill a hole in somebody else's boat and cause a problem. But guess what? We shouldn't do that. You know, we shouldn't do that as humans, and it's not kind and it's not nice. So watch your actions and your words because it can really affect people in a negative way, and it's just simply not fair. So thank all of you. I'm so thankful for all of you for keeping my channel safe and for, you know, plugging those virtual holes in the bottom of my old wooden canoe when I'm out on a lake, and you know, kind of least expect it, but it's just amazing to have such friendships with so many people at this point, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. This chain I added to this locket as soon as I got it home, but this was one of the finest pieces that I found at the Burton Antique Show, and this is 14 karat gold, and this enameling is just in remarkable and perfect condition. Glass enamel on gold is always something that people marvel at, but look at that beautiful and elegant floral basket. And then when you open this locket from the top, let me get in here and open this. I guess I should have opened it before I came on camera so no one would see the struggle. But when you open this, and as I continue to struggle, when you open this, it's clearly marked 14 karat. Right here. You know as well as I do, 99.9% of these are gold filled, and this one is 14 karat, and it's marked, it's marked right there, and then it has both fitter rings, and it has both covers, so each of the, covers is there, and a beautiful double-sided locket. But what got me was that color blue across this surface. Just absolutely fantastic. And, you know, guilloche enamel, really some of the finest enameling in the world. And I would date this to be around, this is 1918 into 1920, maybe 1925. Leaning very Art Deco, but still with these kind of soft edges that I talk about. You know, not that heavy-handed machine age deco, you know, late 20s, you know, into the 30s, it would have been much more angular and less feminine, less fine. It would have been much more industrial age, machine age, heavy-handed. You know, think chrome, think Bakelite, think streamline. This is much more delicate, airy, feminine, female, delicate, much more towards Edwardian than Deco, you know, in style. But I put it on this Victorian 14 karat gold drop chain because I just felt that the color was appropriate, and also for wearability. I just loved this duo together. It was very expensive, but gold is up, so, you know, expect to pay higher prices. I hope everyone is doing well today. I really do. I just have this kind of, you know, even tone to myself today. It's fairly perfect, fairly much so perfect, you know, for this video. I did bag all of these items up, so I'm going to go a slower pace today just because I want to. This was a big surprise. And I'm an avid Bakelite collector. And by this point, you know, after being on YouTube now for 9 months, everyone pretty much knows Bakelite is a material that I just simply appreciate. It's colorful, it's whimsical, you know, and it takes an artist to transform this kind of worthless material into a masterwork. And this is a masterwork of Bakelite jewelry. Imagine the artisan who took this flat sheet of Bakelite and carved it into these leaves and planned out this design so it would be asymmetrical and still make sense. And then, you know, kind of carefully really put an angle on this, you know, so this flower could be riveted to the surface. This is a 2-part construction, and as you can tell, this back panel is what's considered blue moon Bakelite, and it's actually blue when you light it up with a strong light. Let me see if I can do that for all of you right now, so you can see that it's blue and still has maintained that color of blue, even though it does still read as green. Let's see if I can do this. Well, you know what I might do is I might shut off, let me see if I can shut off this top light. It will shift everything yellow just for a moment. It always does. Let's see if I can shut that off. And yep, I said it, shift it yellow, and it did. Look at how blue this is. Now, in normal lighting and normal daylight, this read as very dark green. It was kind of like a forest green color. But you can see that across the surface, this mottled green here is not the same here. So always be on the lookout for blue Bakelite, because it did exist and still exists. And for some historians that say no, there was no blue Bakelite, explain that one to me. There is blue Bakelite. And that's further proof. And it is. It's absolutely Bakelite. It's no other plastic. It's not celluloid. It's not lucite. I'll do future videos on that as well. But I saw this in my friend Marsha's showcase, and I promised myself at the show I was going to try and be good. And it's sometimes very hard for me to be good when I'm around beautiful things that are for sale. And this was in her case, and it was moderately priced. Maybe it was like $95. I don't really remember. I think it was $95. And I knew that I'd be buying it for myself, and I said to myself, how many more Bakelite pins do I need? I just decided not to buy it, and she had dropped the price, and I just still decided not to buy it. And I was with a dear friend at the show, and he knows how much I love Bakelite, and he's a great light in my life. That's what I'll say. He forgives me when I'm ridiculous. He loves me without judgment, and that's what a true friend is. That's what a true friend is loving someone without judgment. And that's why I thanked all of you just a little bit ago, because you seemingly love me with no judgment, and I appreciate it, and it touches my heart. He watched me struggle putting this back, and we walked down a few booths, and I kept thinking about the pin, and I kept trying to convince myself not to go back and buy it. And I was having a conversation basically with myself and then basically with him. And we were at another gentleman's booth who had come in from out of town. It was their first time set up. They were very nice gentlemen. I bought 3 pieces from them. They were from Buffalo, New York. And this show brings in people from all over the United States. It always has. And that's where I've met a lot of my connections, outside of Ohio. And getting back to this, it kept bothering me, and I said, I'm going to go back and get that, because I don't think anyone is going to buy that by the end of the day. So we finished the show, and we walked around outside, and we did 2 laps outside, and I said to him, let's go back in, because I knew I was going to go back and buy this, at least see if I had money left to treat myself to something this beautiful. And this would be from the late 40s, and completely hand constructed and hand carved and hand pierced, and that double color, that really mottled, heavily gorgeous, deeply carved flower. I'd never seen this pin before in real life or in any of my books, and it's further proof that these Bakelite craftspeople, because there were both men and women that were doing these, more men making these back in the 40s, but definitely, females like Martha Sleeper, and there were others that were crafting such things, because elegant and beautiful and female and fragile in its essence, floral and gorgeous. So I went back, and it was gone. It was out of the case, and I pretended to not really look for it, because I didn't want him to be like, oh, look, someone bought your pin, and then, my pride would be hurt, and I didn't want to say anything to her, because she would have been like, well, you should have bought it. So anyways, I didn't know he bought it for me, and he did. He went back within a few steps of the booth earlier in the day when I went down to the other booth and shopped the gentleman from New York, and he bought this for me. And I'll tell you what, that really, 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 this will always be one of my most important Bakelite pins that I own. And, I have ones that I've spent thousands on, and they pale in comparison now to a love token, a token of appreciation. And all I can say is, I know he watches my videos, because we were laughing about how crazy I get on camera. And I just want to thank you so much, my kind friend, because you touched my day, and you made me extremely happy. And now I have the beautiful pin that I wouldn't buy for myself. So thank you so much. And I love you like a brother, and you know that. So before I get teary-eyed too much, that was just so kind. It was so, so kind. And I went out in the field, and another gentleman, his name is Ray. I've mentioned him before. Let me zoom out on this a little bit. My friend Ray, him and his wife watch my videos, and so do his 2 children. So Ray, the kids, I want you for to know that you really make me happy every time I see you guys, because I don't know how to explain it sometimes, but this is 1,000 rings, and it's adornment for the hands, and it's all about art jewelry and art made things. And there is the introduction, and let me see if I can find you the author really quick. It's by Lark Jewelry, but if you Google this, it was $24.95. Let's see if I can find the author here, because I really do want to give them a great shout out. So there's the inside, and as you can see, like a ring that large, is like it transcends material and its adjacent thing. And as you leaf through this book, you'll see these amazing wearable sculptures. And I do have this book, and I told Ray, I said I have it, but guess what? I can't find it in my library anywhere because I have, well, I'll say I have over probably 800 books in my library, and I have it in several different areas. I have my library spread out in several different locations, and they're classified by basically subject matter. And I have a lot of historical books, but for some reason, I can't get my hand on this book, and now I have two of them. And someone loved this. They had marked all the pages of what they found was important in maybe design, or maybe they knew the artists. And I did go to school with some of the people that are in this book. I don't want to mention any names because I'm not a name dropper. I'm not a social climber. Some people are, and I am not. This, look at this, is made out of sparklers, and then that's the ring lit up. I mean, you can't, wear it when it's on fire, obviously, but it's about concept, and that's what I've talked about in my work before. And rings made out of Legos with metal shanks, probably in sterling silver or gold. These are all about artistry and ingenuity of design and thinking outside the box, literally. No pun intended. I think this is Marilee Hugh. Let's see. No, Sergey. So when you look at this book, all I can say is if you love rings, I would recommend getting this book because it's a heck of a book. And I bring it on because the love I felt from Ray and his family, his lovely wife. I thank you so much. I thank you for thinking of me in such a positive way, and a special shout out to the kids for watching me as well. So I debated on this ring because, is it that special? Well, it kind of is. 14 karat gold, natural emerald and diamonds. And with the price of gold right now, I keep trying to still bring it for sale just because a lot of people have really laid off of this and have said, I can't afford to buy it and then mark it up to make anything. And I fully understand that. It is a struggle because of the price being so high, but this was just gorgeous. It was the perfect size. It's the perfect design. It's asymmetrical. It's well balanced. It's very well thought out. It's not the classic, just pretty cluster cocktail ring. It had so much more to offer. And to see natural stones that look that beautiful and diamonds that clean and that carat weight, I said yes. I said absolutely. And it will sell very quickly. So we'll probably bring this on a future sale on Bully Run Coffee, probably. So that's one of the gold rings I bought. This one I bought because this design sense sells very well and sells very quickly. When you mix metals, see that little edge of 14 karat gold around that natural pearl. Sterling silver, I always talk about construction. Pay attention to the way these things are made. This is sterling and 14 karat. I just thought it was so classy, very affordable. So I could double or triple my money on that, and as soon as that happens, because some people say, well, how do you know what to buy? Or how do you know your profit margins? Sometimes it's a home run and sometimes it's not. And most dealers you talk to nowadays will say the same thing. These are carved rock crystal, carved black onyx, and natural citrine in this extraordinary, late 80s, early 90s mindset. Clip earrings, they are artisan down in, they are sterling vermeil, so they're not 14 karat gold. Normally, you would see this in 14 karat gold, but these are vermeil, so it's just gold plated over sterling, which made them so much more affordable. In gold, I would not have been able to buy them. They would have been, I would say at least 700 to 800 just in metal and materials. And these were very affordable, beautiful, easy wear. I just really loved the design. Very reminiscent of Art Deco with that kind of retro styling of the 1940s. Let's get into this one. This was bought from a dealer kind of way out in on the outside of the track, and I had bought a couple other pieces from her. Very good friend of mine. Peridot, Iolite, Ruby, not sure, probably Aquamarine since it's so pale. Amethyst, Citrine, probably Chrome Diopside, Citrine, Amethyst, maybe another. Yeah, this needs to be cleaned a little bit, but I loved the artistry of that kind of, I don't know how to exactly describe the way the bezels are constructed, but each stone very carefully bezel set. Sometimes I lose my words because I want to compare this to something, but it's almost like something we hadn't seen before in jewelry because of the construction and because of the combination of stone color. But look how great that is. It's just so amazing to see Mother Nature being put together in such a diverse color grouping, and not a rainbow, not a, kind of, I loved that ring. I just loved it. That's why I bought it. Some people say it's okay when you stumble because we get ya. This is Trifari. I bought this from my friend Maria, and she had the tag on it of what she had paid for it. And I, as a dealer, understand sometimes that you have to change your price on the fly. And she did. She changed her price and she told me she needed more because the tag on it was what she had paid. And I gently said, Maria, I understand because I've done that before. We all make mistakes in business, and it takes a big person to claim that. And as soon as she said she had to charge me more, I didn't even flinch. I just said, I have to have him. Very unusual, and people say a jelly belly. It's not. That's just a faux turquoise and faux sapphire eyes. Jelly Belly would have been completely clear lucite, and completely clear, not a colored lucite. I consider Jelly Bellies clear, always clear, but that's just me as a purist collector. It's signed Trifari there, Crown Trifari, probably late 60s, but I loved this for whimsy, and I knew that I could still make a substantial amount of money at the price that she charged me. So that's amazing, and I hope you're liking it so far. Please stay tuned, because some of these pieces, you're going to say, wow, Jason, what an assortment. This is, I think it's titanium, or let me look on the inside. Just give me one moment. I still, after I bagged these up last night, still need to clean a lot of them. This is tungsten carbide, and it's signed Triton, Triton. It also has a 925 mark, but what I loved about this is, and the person, selling it didn't really specialize in jewelry, those are little tiny diamonds, but look how clean and clear they are. Very good quality, very strong quality, and the size on those, I'd probably put those around 4 points, 4 points, maybe 5 points, but that would add up and have a good carat weight. I think retail on that online would be probably, I'm guessing here. I would guess this to be in the hundreds. I would say 300 to 400. And since I don't do retail and contemporary, probably making a mistake. It's probably like someone will say, oh, I found it online for 125. And then they'll say, no, I found it online for 795. And I would say, I don't really care. I paid 30, and I just know that would be, I would offer it for 100, and I know that I'd get it. It's comfort fit, it's in good shape, and I think that's just oxidized. That might be a little band of gold, and then maybe the sterling is on the outside of that. So, I'll clean it up and I'll see what we've got going on with that. But I just like the style, and I will buy contemporary because it does still sell for me. This is interesting. I also bought this one from Maria. I'm not sure on the mine on this, but as soon as I saw this, I just knew it was a yes. The style, the balance, the simplicity, and this leaf and berry design with the single tendril, and then the rope twist attention, split shank and early, that's probably late 40s. Yeah, probably late 40s, maybe into the 50s on this one. But that stone and that color, I don't know, it was instantaneous. And I didn't care how much it was. I just said yes, it was an immediate, yep, I have to have it. The thickness of that shank, I always tell you, please look at the craft. And someone had said in my last video, they said, wow, the close-ups you do for us. You know, the close-ups and showing us the details. You know, they were so grateful. Ew, I don't know why there's cat hair in my box again. And it's somebody else's cat. That wasn't mine. I don't know where that came from. Let's see. Murano art glass. This woman was a delight. She was so sweet. And I could just tell... this was an emotional buy. I could tell she wasn't selling much. I felt it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she had a great day and I just maybe picked up a different energy or something. But this is Murano glass and a lampwork bead. And she knew that it was Murano because it had a tag on it before I got to it. And sterling silver. I loved that fancy bail. I loved this kind of pigtail kind of twist that I used to do in school with that foliate end cap and sterling. Love that open work and that granulation and like kind of a lotus flower there. That color of that bead with that internal core, very much so this artist knew exactly what they were doing in glass. That core and then these applied flowers, the controlled bubble in the center, and then these applied beautiful kind of dewdrops in an amber color to really push that surface back and forth. Loved this. I thought its simplicity was just magnificent. And for wearability, that would turn as you wear it. You know, there's some play there that makes that want to move and grab attention. You know, when you wear jewelry, don't you want someone to see it? You know, don't you want someone to comment on it and say, "Oh, I love your bead. You know, I love your glass bead. What is that?" And then it starts a conversation, sometimes with a stranger, or sometimes over dinner. I left a tag on this one, kind of by accident. So I paid $35 for this. This came from my friend Marcia and her amazing son. I've known Marcia a long time, and I think I figured out at the show that I've known Marcia since I was 18 years old. And talk about staying power. I've bought from her every single sale I've ever seen her at. I always buy from her. Sterling silver. This is definitely from England. 100% sure from England. Tube hinge on this side. So let's look at that old tube hinge. And really beautiful, really magnificent tube hinge. And then over here, just the simple C right there. And I've always loved these butterfly wing brooches, and that's Blue Morpho butterfly wing underneath a clear crystal. I've always loved these, and this shape is just beautiful. Could you imagine that as a ring? There's no way to convert it now, because, you know, obviously you can't heat up the wing. You would just burn it away, but there's no way to convert that, but it's very sizable. You could make it into a pendant. You could just hang a bail on this side, but I love it as a brooch. These always make me happy. I have a very large collection of butterfly wing jewelry, but that made me very happy. This was a late buy, meaning I had went through the show and I had seen it, and I just didn't, you know, I don't know. I guess I was thinking, like, what else am I going to find? How much money am I going to spend? You know, how do I kind of have a budget when I go through? And I came back to this elderly gentleman, and his prices were so fair. And he offered this to me earlier when I bought these two and some paperweights from him. I'll bring those up next. We'll look at the paperweights I got from him. But once I had, you know, bought, I'll do it now. These 3 rings. Hold on, I'm going to do them all together. Let me grab this one. This came from him as well. And thank you, because I kind of want to keep these things together. Oops, let me... Wow, what a mess. This box is like never ending over here. Okay, we'll go with this. Here I go, loading up the box on ya. But this keeps you watching, doesn't it? So there's that. And then where's the other one? Oh, here it is. Okay, oops, I'm gonna knock this whole box over. It's just teetering on the end of my table over here. These are always, you know, my videos, if you would see the way I am in the background, you would say, how do you not break anything? And my answer is, I have no idea. So anyways, this I went back and got after I had bought all of this. And that. So this is all I bought from him in the first wave. I'll show you these first, then I'll go back to this. So I bought all of these. I bought 3 paperweights and these 3 rings. And my first purchase from him was this. Then I bought these 2, and then I bought all 3 of these together. So this one was an immediate yes. And the reason why is because I have a tendency to sell the heck out of these. I am not sure on this one if we're Murano or if we're Perthshire or Caithness. I believe Perthshire, but again, no, I take that back. This is probably Strathern. So there was three that I used to say would do these, and I'm by no means a paperweight expert, but as soon as I see this fineness of the canes and this application of getting these little rosettes in there on the opposing canes and that beautiful mottled ground, sheared and polished bottom. So I was like, oh yeah, we're in the driver's seat there for quality. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I've always said paperweights are jewelry for your house. And I mean that, paperweights are definitely adornment for your house. Then I chose this one because I knew this was an instantaneous yes. And I wish I had some sort of background to put underneath this. Let me look and see what I have. No, not gonna happen. I should just pause the video, right? I always remember after I record these, I could have just paused the video. But see that halo of aurine, that halo of rainbow effervescence, like blue into teal, into lime green, yellow, flashy orange, and then into that bright pink. But then that amazing trapped air on the inside, and then this kind of, I don't even know, this mottled blue polka dotted ground, but isn't that like a veil? It's like a veil of Aurora Borealis, a halo, a veil. But then when you tip this egg, look what happens. It's like a universe all its own. This is iCult, and I've covered iCult many times, and it's signed right here. iCult right there. Let's see here. There we go. And I think it's dated 87. So that's dated 87. It is quite early for his work, but look at that. And I thought, I got to get this because I have to bring this to sell. And as soon as I saw it, I said, oh yeah, that was a definite yes. And it's a very iconic paperweight of his. We see these a lot. So it wasn't like, important or unusual, but it was most certainly incredibly well crafted. And I said, yes, my people are going to love that, And I shop with some people in mind now. I always have, though, even from a young age, I always shopped with other people in mind. And this one, before I got to move these out of the way, and this one, before I say too much about it, this is Grant Randolph, and I didn't know when I bought it, but I knew that it was signed. I didn't really care. I just grabbed it because of the price. There is the foil label for Randolph. There's Grant Randolph Studios, and it is from 1986. Such pieces have always been valuable, but for some reason, there is an uptick in value. There is a clear climb of value. And if other resales say there aren't, that's a difference of opinion, and I will definitely disagree with that. I think the quality of when you get into this paperweight glass, think of what it took to do that ground, the aurine surface, that kind of iridized surface trapped in there, that kind of gravel that's applied to that surface, this internal seaweed, this almost branch of coral or anemones. Look at that as like a little anemone or sea creature. And then this brightly colored tropical fish. But see how it's layered. See how it's like the ground and then the leaves and then this and then that. And then, the fish is at the surface. Not on the surface, but just under the surface is this brightly colored tropical fish, and blue and orange and red. I loved this. And then controlled bubbles to simulate that fish breathing underwater. The scintillation, the push and pull, the layering. This is a masterclass of glass blowing. I marvel at these things because I understand how difficult it is to create such works and to make them look so realistic, so brightly colored, and in such lovely condition. I absolutely said yes. And this gentleman was such a delight. And I joked with him. He was an elderly man. And I said, can I post-date a check for 6 months? And he didn't know me when I was at checkout. And he just looked at me and he's like, nope. I mean, I laughed so hard. I loved him. He was and I had bought from him years and years and years ago. The LB here, I know this, and of course it's probably Lawrence Begay. I gotta look it up. Is it in the Begay family? More than likely, yes. And maybe it's not Lawrence. Maybe I'm combining two different artists and shoving them together in one piece. Wouldn't be unlike me. Do I care? I really don't, because I have to do the research. But this leaf design, and this is the one I went back for, that he had given me such a generous and kind price on. But once you do business with someone, I bought these three and then I bought the three paperweights. Once you do business with someone, let that be a little bit of advice, is once you have a relationship with someone in business and it's a good relationship, they are always willing to work with you on price, and let them tell you what they can do. I could have easily made an offer on this because he kept saying to me, what do you want to pay for it? What do you want to pay for it? What do you want to pay for it? And I was so reluctant because he was elderly and he's established and he's good in his business and he knows what his profit margins are. So allow him to tell you what he would accept, and he did. And as soon as he said it, I said, oh, yes, yes, please, So let them tell you what they can do. And sometimes the negotiation, as long as you keep it positive and friendly, you'll more than likely be able to walk away with a treasure, and maybe you don't have to buy, 4 rings from someone. But, it was just, I had found these and I loved them. This one's scrimshaw. It appears to be fossilized ivory. I will look at this closer. It may just be ivory, but look at that panda in scrimshaw. Very old, and then set in this awesome artisan done. Very thick, very heavy sterling mounting. And I think in sterling, this is, let's see, that's probably like a size 9.5. Yeah, that's like a 9.5. A very lovely portrait of that panda. Again, I look at these and I love the artistry of both the scrimshaw and then the silver work. It's just beautiful. And I felt bad for that one because I'd seen it before and it hadn't sold. And I had to bring it home just because in a way I knew that someone would absolutely love it. This is kind of windowed opal. Some people always say boulder opal. And I say, okay, there's that little window of veins of opal running through this almost metallic brown. And this stone was revered to have this kind of a mounting built for it. Definitely native, crafted and created. This scalloped border with the rope twist and then these applied little, what I always consider little raindrops or exclamation marks of craft. Just look at that stone and see how beautiful is that. And yes, we are selling this. I did want to keep it for my collection. Finding such stones like this is quite the challenge. In my time, I've probably had a ring like this. I've probably had maybe just a dozen times. And I buy lots. So, not finding it very frequently. And this was the best buy of all of them. Or I could say the most unusual. I got to get it cleaned up. This is red coral inlay, turquoise inlay, sterling silver, huge, just chunky sterling silver mounting, size 10, and this beautiful inlaid eagle, turquoise, probably black onyx, and then inlaid in mother of pearl, carved down in, and then those pieces inlaid into mother of pearl. Great craft, really clean design. I think it's just beautiful and handsome. And I don't get a lot of gents' rings. Men's rings are getting harder and harder and harder to find. And when I say men's rings, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone always tries to say, well, this is for a man and this is for a woman and this is for that and that. Well, you could wear whatever you want, but that's clearly a gents' ring just based on size and bulk and construction, overall design. Its intention was to be made for a man, but anyone can wear it, This is optic glass, and this is by Sagen, and I bought this from my friend Maria, and I love Sagen's work. As soon as you see this open band with this kind of granulation, almost Bali style silver, you just know that that's Sagen. And then I'd never seen this in real life, and I'd seen it online, but these are both bezel set optic glass, and then mother of pearl, or I should say abalone, inlaid in between to simulate water. Look how beautiful. Look how absolutely beautiful that is. We're going to bring that for sale too. And for a ring, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. And I don't know. As soon as I saw it in her stuff, I said, yep. I didn't even ask for a price. I go, it was funny because she put it, aside, and I go, just put it on my bill. So this one is, I think this could be gold. I gotta look closer. There is a carat mark here, but this is oxidized, heavily oxidized, but gold will oxidize. So this is either gold or gold filled. I think this is gold. I think this is carat gold all day long. I look at the solder seams and I say, oh yeah, we're in 14 karat gold. That oxidation didn't scare me for a second. That construction of taking the time to hand construct and build this arch, that says, hello, I'm gold. It says, I'm gold. But again, sometimes in gold filled, they constructed it like that. But that clasp sure looks gold to me. Probably 10 karat more than likely, hence the oxidation. That's a beautiful little natural pearl. But a 4-leaf clover, I said, yeah, I'm going to take the chance on that. So that was a risk. And I covered that the other day. I said, sometimes in this business, you have to have courage. You have to take the chance. And I've always been willing to take the chance, and now more so than ever before. This is lapis, and it's gem grade lapis. That is absolutely beautiful, top of the heap, gem grade lapis. I really think that these cufflinks are extremely expensive retail. That little line running through this is a line of metallic. It's not a break in the stone, but it's line of metallic inclusion. I'll call it that for now. We'll leave it there. And then these are blue sapphire on the outside, and genuine blue sapphire on the outside. And they're mounted in sterling silver, but they are signed. They're signed there. And then there's a mark here that looks like a C, and then an I and a backward C. That's the designer in 14 karat gold. I don't know who that is, but all I can tell you is those are quality all day long and extremely expensive. When I see something like this, I think like retail would be, I'm guessing here. I'm totally guessing, like $225 to $285. And when someone gives you a price that's way less than that, you say, I'll do it, and then I'll find the right person for them. Might take me a little while. Cufflinks are a little bit tough to sell. Let's do 3 turquoise cuffs really quick because everybody loves the turquoise that I do. I'm kind of a stickler. I like unusual colored stones, and I do appreciate the metalwork that goes into this. Anything this direct and that bold, direct, all about the stone, and then this very simplistic sterling mounting. Old, I always go after, I always go after from the 20s through the 50s. When I deal with Native American and silver, I almost slipped. I personally don't enjoy much contemporary or much newer than that, but I'm a purist collector. I always have been, This is tooled beautifully, hand tooled, and then these applied florals. And that stone, mint green, that white kind of matrix, sterling, but again, that's probably late 30s into the 40s because the metal is thin. If this was thicker metal, I'd say earlier. I'd say more 20s. But this is definitely post 1925 and probably pre-1945. So I circa date it. I say 1925 to 1945. You can't get in trouble then, Circa dating is our friend. Why? Because we weren't there when these things were made, We weren't. This one, well, some of us might have been. This is, let's see here. Yeah, that's just hand stamped. Yeah, that's hand stamped. That's not applied. So those are stamped from behind, chasing and repoussé. So repoussé, pushed, and then chasing from the front. So repoussé and then chasing. So pushed from behind and then punched from the front, or stamped from the front. Very reminiscent of that last one we just looked at. But look at that turquoise with that yellowy little hint there. Natural. Says I am natural and I am stunning. I've always loved these because they're easy to stack. I guess I should have shown that, but now the other ones are across the room. But you can stack those in 3. You can easily layer these, and you could wear it by itself. But again, the oxidation, someone would raise home and clean this. Well, nope, not me. That's just personal choice. And then everyone says to me, why don't you clean your silver? And I go, I don't know. I just don't want to. And then, I will do polishing videos of how to appropriately clean and how I feel you should appropriate clean. That's all. These are Murano glass, and I loved these because they did look like Czechoslovakian glass, but these are Murano, and I really liked the way these were finished on the back. For cufflinks, those are very bright. That ultramarine blue in this glass always gets me. You know, whenever I see that ultramarine, then mix it with like goldstone, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes. It's like heaven and earth. It's almost like a topographical map from above, and how beautiful our earth looks. Even though sometimes down here doesn't look that beautiful sometimes. But those are just absolutely gorgeous. I love them. This ring is... let's see here. How do I pronounce this? Osh Grossbart. This is Osh Grossbart. This inlay is either 14 karat or 18 karat. I'm not sure which. I believe it would probably be 14. It's probably 14 karat. But there's all the markings on the inside, and it is Osh Grossbart. They sign these differently. But this company, I think they went out... See, I always lose track of this. I think they went out in the late 90s. But they were doing this for, you know, I think quite a while. Malachite, mother of pearl, red coral, turquoise, and onyx. All gem grade inlay. Fabulous craft. You could barely feel where those pieces went together. But anytime you see that design, you immediately know that's Osh Grossbart. You just know. Like, as soon as I saw the ring in the tray of rings, it was in a tray of, like, I would say maybe 40 rings. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, Osh Grossbart, have to have it, you know? This ring retail back in the day was probably in the vicinity of $475 to $675, like way back when. You know, I won't get that now. I won't get anywhere near that now. Let's be transparent on that. But I'll be able to double my money for what I paid for it. This one is faux sapphire, but why I bought this is it's an eternity band. That's in sterling silver, very Art Deco style. And I love these bold kind of interjections of these then calibre cut, princess cut stones. Really quite a stunning ring. A statement all its own. Everyday wear for this one. You put that on, you don't worry about it, and you just wear it, you know, wear it for a long time. There is wear to the stones as well, but I didn't mind that. That's sterling, and I just knew that someone would absolutely love this because it's a very good size finger as well. I try to, when I buy for resale with ladies' rings or rings like that are our style of that, more delicate style, I try to stay around on the very smallest of 5, and I try to stay around, like the target is around a 7, because it's kind of a universal size, and as well, a person that wears a smaller size can wear it on a different finger, you know? But if it doesn't fit a hand, you can't sell it, you know? So I try not to buy a 4 and a 5, because sometimes those are way too small for the average size person that shops with me. So I try and stay away from the very, very small sizes. I don't target them, but I target the 7s and 8s. You know, for a gentleman, I target a 9, a 10, and 11. So for gentlemen, it's a 9, 10, and 11. For women specifically, it's around a 7 to 8-ish. You know, a 6 to an 8, 6, 7, and 8. Gents, 9, 10, 11. That's me. That's the way I've done it for 28 years, and I don't have any plan of changing that because it's worked. These are diamonds, really beautiful diamonds in sterling silver. I was very surprised that this was sterling because it looked like it would be 14 karat. It does need to be polished. Yeah, that's just tarnish. Wait, is that gold? Is that gold? No, that's not gold. Is that brass? Is this a fake? Let me see here. Let me see. I'm screaming. Oh no. No. That is, let's see here. ZEI 925. Yeah. I don't know what that is besides... Oh, I see. Okay, now I know what happened. They tested that. They tested that for gold, and it's sterling. So they tested it for gold, so now I got to get rid of that. They tested it for gold. Look, sterling, and look at these diamonds. I love it. Let me see if I can polish it up really quick. Let me see. Let me grab this. Let me see if I can polish that, because that's right on the surface. Hold on. Let me see if I can polish it, because someone's going to say, oh, that looks like it's brass under there. Yeah, it sure does, but that's where they put gold acid on it, and it fumed the surface and tore the double HELL out of it. Let's see here. So, yeah, see, there it goes. And look, I use my handy-dandy polishing cloth because someone said to me, what do you use to polish your silver? And I said, nothing. But see, here I go obsessing, and now I have to polish the whole thing. So, but just use a silver polishing cloth, and you can see how much I use it, which means hardly ever. you know? So, but it doesn't matter what brand. It really doesn't. But, just use a polishing cloth. That's the way to do it, and I don't go too crazy. Watch, I do one pass to get rid of that nasty spot, and then I just move on. But there's a learning moment. Where did my little air? So see, it's right there, barely. But yeah, all that was just a little blip that someone had dropped acid. Yeah, Yeah, they just dropped gold acid on there to see if it was 14 karat gold. I did not do that. But yeah, you can see that's not brass under there. That's silver. So there you go. Another learning moment. How to polish on quote live film. So look at that now. Look how beautiful. I could sell it for so much more. I'm just kidding. It's the same price as it was before. So there you go. Little diamonds, but they're not little. I think those are about maybe 15 pointers. Yeah, 10 to 15 points. And someone say, well, how do you know? And I'd say, I'm guessing. And then this is a Nikki Butler ring. And I love Nikki Butler jewelry. I always have. There's just something there for, a contemporary silversmith. The stones are always great, and the design is just as strong. Those half pearls, a gem-grade amethyst, and an amazing moonstone in the center there. Really fantastic. Design and craft. It's signed, done in there with the conjoined Nikki Butler, so NB925. And I love the shank system. I'm always about very directional. Create a medallion and just put a simple shank on there. Very well crafted, though. Extremely well crafted. Great solder seams on the shank system and the back plate that it sits on. Should I polish this? Everyone's like, can you please polish that? The answer is no. But that's going to come to sale. Because I loved that, and I just knew that someone out there is going to love that. In the same kind of mindset, I went, these were my boys from Buffalo. Where did the rest of their stuff go? And why am I screaming? Okay, this came from, I'm going to stay on the guys from Buffalo right now. I'm going to show what I bought. Oh boy. I'm going to show what I bought from my boys from Buffalo. They were fantastic, and they were probably, I'm guessing, maybe they were in their 60s, I would guess, 60s-ish, maybe, I don't know, but they were true gentlemen who just were so wonderful, and it's their first time setting up there. This is signed. I have no idea who that is. I literally have no idea. I had no clue. But what I did know is this design is very reminiscent of Mary Gage. Mary Gage jewelry is something that I've collected for a long time. She was a silversmith. I've talked about her before. This looked like a Mary Gage piece. I loved the design of these leaves around this turquoise that is so incredible for color saturation. Very beautiful turquoise, but this mounting is exceptional. So if my, quote, boys from Buffalo watch this, thank you for making me so happy, because you gave me such good prices that I couldn't make the items that I bought from you for the prices you sold them to me at. This is the second favorite piece that I bought. And you're going to say, if this is your second favorite, I'm dreading seeing the first favorite. This is as good as it gets. Do I consider this jasper? I most certainly do. Would I consider it ocean jasper? I'm not sure on that. I'd leave that up to a gemologist. But I know that in my heart of hearts, this is jasper. Not sure on origin. I know most of where it's not from. This bale is so incredible. This detail and that foliate scroll, these tendrils, that border, that rope twist, another floral tendrils, fully articulated, and this pendant at the bottom, articulated. The craft on this, it doesn't move without, the wearer moving. It's tight, but it's still loose. Peridot, gem grade peridot, and I love that they alternated the marquee with these ovals and then marquees up here as directional. Look up here and then look down here. So very directional. Look up towards the wearer, look down towards this point. Very directional, very well balanced. If it was only 2 stones, I wouldn't have bought it if it was only that. I just wouldn't have bought it. I would have bought it if it was this stone flipped this way and this stone flipped that way. 2 stones, absolutely. But I wouldn't have bought it if it was just those 2 in that orientation. I'm a design, I go crazy about design. I bought it because the 3 steps. Would I buy it if it was just this? I love the stone, but I wouldn't have bought it just for this. The trio, this story, the color combination, the design aesthetic, that push and pull, directional, additional, but made sense. These designs made sense with the total, directional, fancy without being too ornate. What else do I say besides the craft and those double bezels? Stepping that up. Now, if that was just a simple bezel, I probably still would have bought it. I wouldn't have thought as highly about it. Look at the back. The back craft is truly gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Love, love, love. Didn't see that it was signed until now. AF. I do not know who AF is as a silversmith, but my, AF had a heck of a great day in the studio. That would take a long time to produce. Both cutting and polishing the stones, selecting these incredible outer space cabochons, and then putting this into this very large mounting. The craft and the skill, they did not rush this. They took their time. Watch the bezels on these. Watch the quality of the work. Make sure they're hand hammered and not glued in. You can see that these bezels are hand hammered. You can see that they're irregular. See how they're pushed in? Look, an artist hammer, 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 over and over and over to close that bezel around that stone. It's hugging that stone. It's making great contact. Now you'll see more perfect bezels, but you'll see stones glued in. Be careful. Make sure your stones are not glued in. Sometimes it's okay to secure them with glue, but just make sure that they're bezel set. That's all. Enough of a lecture, but wow, wow. Okay, that's the second piece from them. And then we go into, and of course I felt bad because I didn't get their names. I got their business card, but I didn't get their names. I put this on this chain. You want to see a peridot cross? Everybody ready? What is this? This is the largest peridot cross I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of such work. When I go to the international gem shows, you'll see whole booths filled with this. You'll see whole booths filled with such beautiful work, but not ones this big. Not ones this complex. Not ones this much in control. Look at the variation in color. When people say to me, how do you know if it's natural peridot rather than crystal? Look at the variation. Yellowy green, a little bit more mint green, washed out pale green, kind of a celery green. Look at that variation in cut and color. Now the size is calibrated, but it's all about cut and color. Some have more of an open culet, some have a taller crown, some have a deeper pavilion. Some of the stones are slightly larger than the next, but mostly calibrate cut. And look how they rocked the bezels over. Each stone is bezel set by hand. Nothing is glued in. This whole thing. And look how they open up the back to let the light through. Are you kidding me? Like, as soon as I saw this, my expectation was they're going to have this out at like $475, and that would be a fair retail. You know, that would be a fair retail price. $475. And I walked up, and this was the first piece I wanted to touch. And I don't buy contemporary at antique shows, or this new at antique shows. I just don't do it. Because I could buy this at any international gem and jewelry show. And I have a lot of contacts for this kind of stuff. But as soon as I saw this, and I said, can I see that out? Can I touch that? As soon as I touched it and I looked at the quality, I said, I'm going home with this. And it was priced $145, and I got it for $105. Now, I couldn't make this for less than right now, I couldn't make this for less than $150 in materials. And then how long would it take me to create all these bezels and then solder them together? And then put these little dots and granulation, solder this closed, open up the back, and then bezel set every single stone without breaking and shattering any of them. It's almost like, give me a break in a way. What do I say? I'm amazed by this. I love this. And I knew that it was not only a moneymaker, but it would make me very happy. So I put it on a chain, and I'm going to wear this. You'll probably see it in a couple videos. And then, maybe, just maybe, I'll decide to sell it. So anyways, that was amazing. And to the guys from Buffalo, thank you again for. It was a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to the family at Burton, Ohio, because you fit right in. You were just truly gentlemen, and it was very nice to meet you. And you put up with my bad humor without even flinching. I was obnoxious in your booth, and I truly was. But it was all, we had a great time with you, and thank you for laughing. So this is turquoise, red coral, black onyx, and mother of pearl. And I bought these from my friend Mimi, who you all have met on my channel. And Mimi had these in her booth. They're sterling silver. I loved this feather design. And look at that fine inlay up here. Red coral, turquoise, and black onyx. And pierced and in such beautiful condition. And the inlay, the stone inlay, is just so well done. We see this sometimes that it's acrylic and it looks like stone. This is stone on stone inlay. And these are older. Maybe these are late 80s. But those were exceptionally well made, and they made me very happy. So those will be sold and absolutely exceptional. So Mimi, thank you. Me and Mimi did that short feed of us dancing in the back of her car. We had such a good time, and she really made me very happy. I got this from Mimi, and I'll say I'm gonna keep this. I bought it to sell it, and now that I've spent less than 24 hours with it, or right at 24 hours with it. This is sterling silver, and that is a huge egg yolk amber. Finding a piece of amber that large in that color, getting much more of a challenge. You can still do it. It's not, rare or historical, but it's very much so difficult, to find that egg yolk. Look at that. It's just amazing, and I love the way this mounting, this naturalistic mounting, hugged that and framed that, and that little twist in the metal. Didn't need to do that, but that artist hand, and almost industrial but still natural. The depth of the mounting. These applied 3, I mean, if it was 2, I'd be like, I could sell it. But that 3, I was like, nope, I don't know. Things in 3s, 5s, and 7s always speak to me. That ribbon, almost deeply embossed or twist design, really beautiful bail that you could wear it on a big, thick chain. That's a keep. And I've often said, like, for a pendant, people say, well, that's worth they'll say, oh, that's worth like $175. Right? But then if you turned it into a cuff bracelet, if you soldered it down you turned it into a cuff bracelet. I'll look at these two together, by the way. You turn this into a cuff bracelet, and then that's like $575. But why? You're only soldering a little band on it. So I think pendants are sometimes overlooked for pricing. At least that's what I've seen, over the last maybe 20 years. I think pendants are sometimes underpriced for what they are. And think about this. If that was a ring, you could charge, that would be $700 for a ring. Why is a pendant, is it only valued at $175? If it was a ring, it'd be like, that ring has to be $795. Well, it would be $795 for a ring. Look how good that looks on the hand. Everyone's like, why do you turn everything into a ring? Well, I don't turn everything into a ring. But when I design my rings, they are that size. That's totally wearable. It's totally wearable. And when someone says, well, that's gaudy, my favorite thing is to say, well, it's gaudy because you don't own it. That's hilarious. Someone had said that to me in one of my things, and they said, Jason, people, if they say something nasty about your stuff, just tell them, well, it's because you don't own it. It's hilarious. They made my day, and she knows who she is. And then everyone laughed about that the other day, but look at that as a ring, but seriously, as a pendant, thank you so much, Mimi. Mimi, you're just so kind. And you're truly, Mimi, you're a friend to all. That's all I can say. This is a beautiful opal, and of course it's going to be shy on camera. No, it's not. It's going to light up. And oh boy. This, I don't really want to get into specifics on this, but that's an opal. It stays blue and green, diamond border in white gold, on a white gold chain. I loved how fragile and gorgeous and, gee whiz. When I see an opal like that, I just go, oh yeah, that's coming home with me all the way through too. So yeah, we'll talk about that in an opal video. We won't talk about that right now, but that was a pickup, and that was a definite yes. So in a beautiful box. Only 3 more things. A ring stand, because someone had said to me in my lap, oh wait, no, I have a grand finale. I do have a grand finale. After these 3, I have a grand finale. There's a ring stand, and this is lucite. It's from the late 50s, early 60s, and that's for a ring. I had sold an hourglass one. And someone had said to me, hey, can you get some more of those vintage ring stands? Well, yeah, and then I went and I looked and I couldn't find any. And then I found this one. It was super cheap, and it's reverse carved lucite with a rose. Very cool. And like, put it by your kitchen sink so your rings never go down the washer, or the garbage disposal, I should say. Because... can you imagine this, you buy this for, let's say I charge $28 for this, right? Because it's worth every penny. You put this next to your sink, you're going to save yourself $300 when you have to call a plumber to come take your sink apart and your garbage disposal apart to fish your wedding ring out of it. So this is a problem solver. Not only decorative and beautiful, but a problem solver, and I'm all about that. I'm all about solving problems in the world. This was an amazing pickup. I don't want to talk about the mine of the turquoise, even though I have very strong suspicions. This is incredible artisan created, and I truly love this. So will I keep it? I don't know. Kind of on the fence. It does fit. It does look good with my snake. And I probably just decided that I'm keeping it for the rest of my life. Who am I kidding? And then there's this one, as I leave it on and skip over it. There's this one that is sterling silver. And I have had a lot of luck lately selling beautiful rosaries, and that's a sterling cross. So that's a sterling silver cross, and beautifully constructed. And look at that. Encased turquoise in crystal, and then hand faceted. That is beautiful Virgin Mary. And then look at these crystals, and every station is there. It's supposed to be 10 on each side, and then spaced here, and then 10 on each side, spaced again right here, and then 10 on each side up here. So it's 5, shall you say, stations of 10. So when you buy these, just make sure all 20 beads are here, then make sure all 20 beads are here, and then just make sure the 10 beads are up here. So a total of 50 beads in the stations, spaced with that. And then there's supposed to be 5 down here. 1, 3, and another one. So there's supposed to be 5 down here. So that's complete. When I found this, I was so excited. But early on, let me tell you, Burton it almost always rains at Burton. And there's jokes about that it's always going to rain. It was pouring. Everything was covered over. When I did my kind of first half lap outside, it was still raining and everything was covered over. Then people started to uncover. So even if you don't go to the early birds of these things, because I didn't go to the early bird. I went at 10 o'clock with the general public. I found amazing things. And guess what? The early birds would miss something like this because it was covered over. And jewelry is one of the last things to come out. So every time I've thought about going early to certain things, I go, no, I'm not going to go that early to that one because they won't get the jewelry out for a while, and that's true. Tiny and Shiny is some of the last to come out because they got to watch it. They can't just set out all their Tiny and Shiny and walk away. This was my favorite purchase from Burton on a personal level. I had these on last night, and I did a YouTube short feed. A Michael Jackson song, and I think it's one of my favorite shorts I've done in a long time. And I had these on in the short feed. I'm going to probably air it tonight or maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly. I save a lot of my videos now. I pre-record them and then I kind of stash them for, quote, a rainy day. But bad pun. It's still raining out, by the way. It's still very gray and still very sad out right now. But not in my house. Nope. It's rainbows and unicorns in here. These are sterling silver. These are Bedouin. The Bedouin tribe or people. You can do a ton of research on Bedouin, and these are sterling silver. They have like so many hallmarks on the inside. Of course, my phone doesn't want to. There we go. It does want to focus. One tap and it focused. Tons of hallmarks in here. Whoops. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's see. That may have went through another country for import. Let me turn this around. Some of these were not only origin marks, but then where they went through. To be essayed through, or hallmarked, I should say. I don't know why I always say essayed. Let's see here. It won't focus on that. Nope, there we go. So yeah, there's that, which could be origin or date. Then that's the silver mark. No, it still doesn't want to focus. That's the silver mark. And then that's another cipher mark of probably origin or city or location that it went through. I could do a ton of research on these marks, but what it doesn't change, I don't know, won't focus on it. What it doesn't change is the value of these. The value in these is very simple on a few things. Age, condition, weight, and the fact that it's a pair, a mated pair, a matched pair. These started life together. I don't think let me be careful here. No, I'm going to say it. In my 28 years of constant buying, my 28 years of looking online, my 28 years of habitually buying and researching, I've never seen a matched pair of these. I'm saying it's just me. It's not like I was looking for a matched pair. I'm sure if you were looking, you could probably find them. But this was a big surprise. And it was within the first 4 booths. First 4 booths that I shopped, I should say. First 4 dealers that I had actively shopped at the show, and these came to me, and I bought them for what I considered a fair price. I came home and I weighed them, and each one is I think one's 238 grams and one's 241. About that anyway, so around 480 grams. These bolt kind of style raised kind of bolt forms. Very, very, very common design of Bedouin silver. And for me personally, I really did love the surface. I loved the design. Bold, yet very wearable. They are very heavy even for me. And I wore them last night when I got home. And they're huge because you can tell by, the size of my hand. These are really, really, really large. Let me get a measuring tape and see if I can get a measurement on there, because I don't think you're picking up exactly how large they are on here. So that is, let's see here, it's probably 3.5. 3.5, yeah, bingo. 3.5 inches at the back. And I just love these. I could talk about that probably in a video all by itself, and give a whole bunch more information on these people and their silver. And I'll say too, I want to do a video on African silver. I want to do a video on Egyptian silver, Mexican silver, of course. But I do want to talk about, and then do like comparison contrasts, like bring these on with Mexican silver, bring Mexican silver on with African silver. Nomadic tribes, people that, if they were signed, we would never know the artists, or probably just have to loosely attribute, unrecognized or undocumented in terms of their artistic career. But look at these. May not know who made these, but I wish I did. A master work in silver, mastery in silversmithing to create these, and then to create these large bolts that were then applied to the surface. And there's another hallmark for silver content. That's definitely a content mark for silver. Incredible design. Really bold. There's some more marks right there. Yeah, they hallmarked these all over. A lot of times too, they would say they'd have to hallmark each piece. So that's probably why we've got markings on the sides of these. Never noticed that. See, that's why I love doing these videos, is because I see, look at that one. See, they didn't mark them in all the same place. Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go. And I thought that was just a design element. No, it wasn't. So incredible. I thank you so much. And the age on these, probably loosely early 20th century, maybe first quarter of the 20th century is what I would guess on these. Again, no, by no means an expert in this field, but I just knew as soon as I saw these were going home with me. So I thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I really do appreciate it, and I hope my little story in the beginning make a lot of sense. You do patch the holes in the bottom of my canoe, and you really do assist me in keeping me very happy and very safe. I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you, and never forget it. I truly mean that. And you know how I end this. I absolutely love you because I do.